Your voice, your vote. Green Bay small business owner Jamie Wall announces his bid to become state senator for the 30th district. This comes after Governor Evers signed new legislative maps into law last month. The new 30th Senate district covers De Pere, Alloway, Ashwaubenon, Bellevue, and most of Green Bay. Wall is a longtime resident of Green Bay and says his real-world experience would help Wisconsinites.
We deserve somebody in Madison who's going to represent all of us, and especially working people who are struggling to get by. So that means helping to address the soaring cost of health care, of child care, of housing. That means working to support and protect and improve our public schools. That means standing up for women who deserve to make their own choices about their own reproductive health care. And it means making sure all of us can enjoy clean water and clean air.
Action 2 News has reached out to the office of Republican Senator Eric Wimberger. He represents the 30th District now. A spokesperson told us he's working to get us a statement.